Hey again, everybody. I figured as I have a little bit of time tonight before I go out, I would make a small video about how to become a midwife in the UK and what the process is. Give you a bit more insight on who I am and what I'm doing with my life as well. I am en route to becoming a midwife, and in the UK there are two educational paths you can take. One of them is you can get your bachelor's degree in midwifery, which is a 3-year degree, and that'll take you straight into midwifery. Or you can get your bachelor's in adult nursing, which also takes 3 years, and afterwards you can do what's called a top-up to midwifery, which takes 18 months. Obviously the first option is quicker. I have chosen to do option number 2 and become an RN first because it gives you a better understanding of midwifery because you're doing what you're doing and you know why. It's not trying to discredit any midwives who took the direct route, but the midwives that I've spoken to, like my mother-in-law and some of my professors at the University of Edinburgh, have said that midwives who were nurses first are more capable in emergency situations with pregnant ladies who are high risk and aren't as reliant on obstetricians in tricky situations. And like I said, you can know a little bit more about why you do what you do if you understand general medicine a bit more. So it does take longer, but I think it's worth it. And it also gives you more career options. It gives you the ability to climb the career ladder a bit sooner. Otherwise, the same goes for women who are just doing nursing and decide to do the diploma instead of the degree. And the US, that's kind of like just getting your associates in nursing and becoming an RN instead of getting your associates and then doing a nursing degree. It's very, very different here. Another thing that's different is that because healthcare in the UK is socialised by the NHS, National Health Service, the NHS actually not only pays for your nursing and or midwifery education, but they pay you a bursary. Now, I started my nursing training and I'm taking a year out, number 1 to have a baby, and number 2 because if I wait a year, I will become a citizen and then I will be entitled to do the rest of my training for free and they will pay me a sum every year. And it's way worth it. I mean, I'm living in the UK long term. There's no reason for me to be paying for degrees that should be paying me. In this way, I'll be a mother and have my career before I turn 30. And that's more than good enough for me, especially if I'll have a small nest egg instead of being in debt and having to face student loans. And in the meantime, I'm working as a doula, so that also gives me a lot of relevant work experience, and now that I'm having a baby, I have a deeper edge. So yeah, so the process for me is, finish my nursing training, and then I'll probably work as an RN for a year to gain even further work experience and get my name out there, and then after that I'll do the 18 months top up to midwifery. Which it's really exciting, and it's a lot of people go into nursing and midwifery in the UK thinking that it's going to be a safe job, but in today's economy it's really not. Nursing and midwifery are extremely, extremely competitive, and there are a lot of nurses and midwives coming out of school and not having any job opportunities. So it's rough when, there are a lot of job cuts this year because of, what the government did, but the whole other thing. Yeah, what else was I going to say? I have pregnancy brain, I completely forget. yeah, I'm definitely one for active and natural birth and labor, also something very different from the US. In the US, pregnancy is actually technically still classified as an illness, where in the UK, pregnancy is defined as an altered state of health. You won't see an obstetrician or a doctor at all in the UK while you're pregnant unless you have an emergency or a complication. You're in the hands of doulas and midwives, and if you are healthy and have an uneventful, uncomplicated pregnancy, they encourage you to have a home birth simply because it's safer for a lot of different reasons. Number one, you're used to your own bacteria, so you are less likely to come down with any sort of infection, and also because you are familiar with your environment, you're going to be more relaxed, and that promotes a quicker and less painful labor. And if you're not stressed, your blood pressure's down, and if your blood pressure's down, you're less likely to hemorrhage. Those are all excellent reasons to have a home birth if you can manage it. And what they do here is if you are going to have a home birth, the midwife and doula who attend you, if you have a doula as well, will call the local ambulance facility and the closest hospital with the maternity ward and let them know that we have a lady in labor. If we need a bed, if we need an ambulance, please be at the ready. So that way, if God forbid something bad happens, then the woman can be quickly snatched up by the ambulance and taken to the hospital and have an emergency cesarean or anything else that she might need. Yeah, active labors and natural birth, really good. And the approach to the active third stage of labor is not just seen differently here by doulas, but also by midwives. Delayed cord clamping, etc. That's something you have in hospitals here as well, for the most part. I ask you if you want that or not, and you can make your decision. Yeah, I could go on forever about this stuff, it's my passion. But I know, as most of the people who watch me here are either pregnant or mothers or are pursuing careers in midwifery as well, I thought it'd be interesting just to make a small video about this. It's a big enterprise in the UK. I find it shocking that midwifery is illegal in some places in the US. It's so important. Anyone who's interested in midwifery, I really recommend you read up on it. The first book that turned me on to midwifery is called Spiritual Midwifery by a woman named Ina May Gaskin. Yeah, I highly recommend that. That was one of the books we had to read for my doula training. Yeah. I'm not going to keep babbling anymore. If anyone has any questions about the way... ooh, light just went out. There we go, I kicked it. If anyone has any questions about how nursing and midwifery care or training works in the UK, please feel free to ask questions. I'm happy to answer. Yeah. Bye. Totally forgot to mention another huge difference between the way pregnant women are treated in the UK and the US that I mentioned in a response video to one of Jen Information Mommy's posts, Jen, formerly Park River, is that in the UK, women only labor and deliver on their backs if they have epidurals or if they're any other way disabled. Otherwise, women, they keep you up and moving. We keep you up and moving while you're laboring, and then encourage you to be either on your knees or standing, squatting, or sitting on a birthing stool, or on your side, but not on your back. It's actually really, really inhumane. It makes labor longer, more painful, more distressing for the baby, and it can actually put you at a higher risk for hemorrhaging because of the way the birth canal becomes shaped and the positioning of the pubic bone when you're on your back. In hospitals, pretty much every maternity ward has one birthing pool per bed. per room in labor and delivery, which is also something that I think is really wonderful because it gives every woman the opportunity to have a home, to not have a home birth, but to have a water birth, and also to be in a birthing pool at any point during their labor, because it will really help take the pressure off the back, and it's so soothing. So that's wonderful. Yeah, I can't believe how many women labor on their backs in the US. It's really quite shocking. So yeah, that's another one of the huge differences here. Our little catchphrase is, you know, if in doubt, move about, walk you back and forth all night if it's necessary. Really helps move things along. So yeah, so bye for real this time.